Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. These are very testing times, and it's not a very happy time to get together, but these are very emergent and urgent times to take action. Justice for All Canada has organized this town hall meeting to portray the messages, the actions that we are taking right now to challenge the Zionist regime in Israel. This is the town hall to get your ideas out. We're going to tell you exactly what we're doing, the actions that we're taking and recommending, and then move forward to your suggestions and inshallah implementing them. First of all, I invite Hassan Zia, our education manager, to talk about the condition of the ongoing genocide and what's happening in Gaza, so we can get up to speed in what we're actually up against and what the condition is.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Hassan Zia, and I'm the Education Officer of Justice for All Canada. Now, I'm going to talk today about the current condition of what's happening in Gaza. And I want to start off by saying what is happening is a genocide. I don't think I need to convince anybody here of that. And I'll tell you this right now, anybody who says it's not a genocide, there's no point of us even taking them seriously. Whether they're non-Muslim or not, we don't have to waste our time on that. So who has called Israel's action a genocide? Literally every single human rights group. Any human rights group that exists on this world. You have Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, Center for Constitutional Rights, International Association of Genocide Scholars, UN Special Rapporteurs. The International Court of Justice has called it a plausible genocide. Physicians for Human Rights Israel. So, what's happening now? What's made this current predicament so extreme that all of us here are gathered here today? So, what's happening right now, what's been happening since March, is that Israel has been intentionally starving Gaza. Israel, they are using starvation as a weapon of war. So they are using this as a weapon of war to bring about an ethnic cleansing and take over Gaza completely. And this is a fact, and the Israeli officials are not even hiding this. So Israel's heritage minister, he told Israeli media that the government is racing ahead for Gaza to be wiped out and that all Gaza will be Jewish. Israel's national security minister is tweeting in Hebrew that a complete halt of humanitarian aid will allow encouragement of migration and settlements in the Gaza Strip. Israeli defense minister announced earlier this month that the official plan is to build a giant concentration camp for Gaza's populations on the ruins of Rafah while working to deport the population into other countries. Now, Netanyahu himself made it clear back in May that implementing Donald Trump's plan for ethnic cleansing of Gaza was a precondition to having peace in the enclave. And Trump, he himself made it clear in February that his plan for all Palestinians was for it to be removed from the Gaza Strip on a permanent basis. Now, IPC, which is basically the international sort of forum which determines what's a famine and what's not, has warned that a worst case famine is unfolding in Gaza, with widespread starvation and disease impacting the Strip. Over 70,000 cases of acute malnutrition exists in children under the age of 5. 17,000 pregnant or breastfeeding women are severely malnourished. Now, what exactly is happening here? How is Israel using starvation as a method of war? As a weapon of war? So essentially what's happening is that since March, for 2 months, Israel cut off all aid completely. Not a single aid truck was coming in to the strip. Then in May, after some international pressure, they created this so-called NGO in which they only distribute food in 4 checkpoints all across the strip. And to get to these checkpoints, the people of Gaza, they have to go through all this different barrage of gunfire. And Israel intentionally attacks people that are going for aid. Since May 27th, 2025, over 1,054 Palestinians have been killed while attempting to seek aid. So these aid centers, essentially what they are death traps. Palestinians are being lured in to starvation with the promise of food, and they're being killed in cold blood. Think about this. Palestinians, Israel, what is essentially telling them is either you die from a lack of food or you die from our guns. Aid, and what's the most important to understand, is that aid is not stuck. There's not a lack of aid. There are so many food trucks. There are so many trucks carrying aid outside of Gaza, blocked. Trucks, hundreds of trucks, thousands of trucks even, are stalled because Israel controls what enters Gaza, when, and how much. The UN themselves need multiple approvals, pauses in bombings, and open gates, all of which is dictated by Israel. So this is not a logistics issue. This is not a funding issue. It's all being blocked by Israel. It's a siege. So even UN convoys themselves, they're being attacked by Israel. And as the UN bluntly stated, Israel is the sole gatekeeper of aid, and it's using that power to starve Gaza. And the Canadian government, and all governments around the world, if we're being honest, have stopped short of taking any action that would materially change the conditions on the ground. Canada, in a recent report that's been uncovered, said it's shown that they have not suspended all military exports and permits to Israel. Instead, shipments of weapons and components continue. If Canada enforced a two-way arms embargo, it would cut off all material support for the siege. Canada has also not imposed any sanctions on Israeli officials. Canada has not recognized Palestinian statehood as allies like France and UK have. And I'll say this right now. Canada has, this has been updated. Canada has recognized statehood, but they have put preconditions on it. Preconditions which kind of show that they consider Palestine to be the aggressor, Palestine to be at fault. They have said that they are only going to recognize Palestinian statehood if Palestine demilitarizes. And history shows that the state that demilitarizes is the state that is considered at fault for everything that has happened. World War I, Germany. They were forced to demilitarize. Why? Because they were considered at fault. Maybe rightly so, but that is essentially what's happening to Palestine here. They're being forced to accept that they are at fault for whatever has happened. So we need to push Canada to recognize Palestine's right to self-determination. increase Palestine's legal standing to pursue justice, and provide a better mechanism of accountability for Israeli leaders. Canada has not introduced or backed a single enforceable resolution calling for a permanent ceasefire. If it did, it would mobilize diplomatic leverage and join a growing bloc of states treating what Israel is doing as a war crime. So now is our time, more than ever, to keep on continuing to pressure the Canadian government to make actionable change. Jazakallah khairan.
Thank you so much, Hassan. Jazakallah khair. I want to remind everyone that our government's solution to this ongoing genocide right now was the conditional recognition of Palestinian statehood, that if you come out with a red target on your chest and surrender everything, we'll give you your statehood. That was the response of your government to recognize the Palestinian statehood. That was the response of your government on this genocide. I'm going to move towards the solutions and the actions that we're going to take. But before right now, I want to open the floor to everyone and talk about how can we move towards a better solution? What should we be talking about with our government? What should we be doing as Muslims, as Canadians, right here, right now? The floor is open. Any questions, any suggestions? We're all ears, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. So my question is that are we trying to mobilize, the local politicians here, and especially like I know that all the leaders in this government, they know what is happening and they know it's not fair. But I think that everyone has his own interest. And this is the soul or the spirit of capitalism, They do not think about human, they just think about money, So I think we need to mobilize those people, especially local people, so that they can put pressure on their politicians. Jazakumullah.
Assalamu alaikum, jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Ahmed Ramadan. I also work with Justice for All Canada. So there is a big effort meeting and with your local MPs and other government officials to try to put pressure on them. But inshallah, this is what we're here to discuss now, to show the community and to ask the community to also step in and help with that effort for sure.
Assalamu alaikum. Like Canada can support people in Gaza, like in the best way. The problem here in this situation, the border with Rafah closed. Now a lot of trucks waiting to go inside. Why not put pressure on Egypt government to open that border? Because this starving is coming from the border itself. If we are donated from here, like by money, by everything, how these things reach out to Gaza people? If the border, like from Jordans or from Egypt, this is my questions.
The first thing that comes to our mind is, why is Egypt doing it? Whose pressure is Egypt under? Even if Egypt opens our border, would the Israelis let it in? So you're right, we should be pressuring Egypt, but it's not just Egypt. We need to continue our pressure on Israel and Egypt both.
Assalamu alaikum. This is going to be a little bit difficult because it requires a lot from masjids like MNN and requires a lot from every masjid around. But one of the things that I find very frustrating is during Eid Salah or during any sort of get together, or even when we have elections coming up, we like to invite MPs and MPPs and local municipalities to come and advocate for our votes. And a lot of these MPs and MPPs actually do not support a free Palestine. And, you know, for example, in Eid Salah recently, we had Sharif Sabawi come up, and he has said absolutely nothing about Palestine. And in fact, you know, holds very conservative and very anti-Muslim sentiments. Why are we continuing to invite these people? I know that we have a vested interest. You know, we want them to pass construction or whatever it is, local, whatever, but that's not, I mean, if we are asked to sacrifice on our behalf, why is the masjid not doing the same? We should not be inviting any of these people. Mark Carney should not be coming in to give an Eid like session when he's asking for a Zionist Palestine. Like, we should be putting our foot down collectively as Muslims and saying, you do not have our vote unless you explicitly say that you support Palestine. I find it very frustrating that I come to these Eid Salahs and I come to these sessions and I come to these masjids and I have these guys coming up and asking and demanding our vote as if it's free to give, and then saying, oh, we'll hold off the line against worse people, but vote for me. We should expect better.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As brother just mentioned, a lot of MPs are coming here when we have Eid celebration, and we are happy to see them. Obviously, they are doing some work, but they are not doing the fundamental work. And as brother mentioned here, we need to really apply pressure to these gentlemen and MPs and MPPs that are collecting our vote and do not, I wouldn't say the word care, but they don't pay a lot of attention to what is really going inside us. We are dying inside. We are dying inside. Do something, go out there in Ottawa and get Mark Carney out and tell him, what are you doing to the people of Gaza? What are you doing for your constituents here? What are you doing? Are you just coming here to collect your votes during the Eid prayers? We are worth a lot more than that. We are worth a lot more than that. We are demanding as a Canadian to stand for our rights and stop the slaughterhouse of Gaza. Stop the slaughter of Gaza. And we are asking all our brothers here, stop being sheeps. Stop being sheeps. Work on concrete action plans. And if these action plans include to go after these corrupt politicians, each of them single them out, bring them onto the public space and question them every day, I mean every day, through social media, through consequences of their action. We can tell them, okay, first of all, we will expose you not to whole Canada, but we also expose you to the whole world, and we will take action when the next ballot is ready to be cast. So these are, I understand that and I want to keep it a little bit short. These people are living from our votes. All of them are living from our votes. And I don't want to just go after the politician, but we can start from there. We need to have an action plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we can sit here. This masjid is our house. We are coming here for prayers. We should solve our problems as a Muslim here and bring Mrs. Ikra Khalid here and say, take our voice to Ottawa or don't come here. Or don't come here. We don't need you. Or Mr. Sharif Sabawi, don't come to our Eid prayers, because we will remember, and we are remembering what you guys are doing here. We are dying inside. We're not going to do the duck mouse anymore. We are not ducking anymore. We are standing out. We have a right. We are Muslims. We are humans. We are paying our taxes here. Period. How long should we duck? And they know that Muslims are ducking. If the Muslim will stand up and will know his human rights and Canadian rights, they will not do that. Because they understand, okay, we have an MP that is completely doing everything along the party lines. And the party lines is not representing us. We have to stop and tell them either there must be a fundamental and substantial change in the policy of the 2 or 3 parties that we have, or we have to really find some other politician that will represent us. I'm sorry, I want to just keep it short. Sorry for my speech got a little bit long. Yeah. But my request to your organization, I'm receiving really a lot of good emails, and thanks for your work. We have to work on an action plan. And if that action plan is really also like 5 things or 3 things, that's better than a lot of talks. Let's do something. There are a lot of youth, they have some time. Even if one of us can go out there for 2 hours and do something, that would be great.
We'll inshallah come back to you as well, inshallah. So, do you want to respond to 2 questions first? Yeah, so we had first of all, why do we continue to invite MPs to our masajid? First things first, Justice for All didn't ever tell you guys to invite any MPs to any masajid. We've not done that. We ask you to thoroughly build a relationship with your government. It's not just about the elections. It's not just about your vote. It's about showing up at your MP's office in times of distress and happiness. Build that relationship with them, talk to them, and make them feel what you're feeling. We've always talked about relationship building. We've always talked about how that is the long game. So we've never enforced anyone. We've never asked anyone to just keep inviting. And when we meet with MPs, most of these MPs ask for pictures, and we refuse. We tell them we're not going to be your marketing gimmicks. We won't let you tell people that we met with Justice for All Canada. That's not how this works. So we urge each and every one of you to do the same. Emily, you want to talk?
I mean, inshallah, we'll talk a little bit after about some of the solutions and plan that we have. But I think the points that the brothers are making are very important for the masajid themselves. I don't come to MNN often, so I'm not talking specifically about MNN, but I have heard this a lot, where masajid and leaders start cozying up to MPs and are afraid to talk about the situation in Gaza and other Muslim issues that are happening. And I think it's a valid concern, and you need to let your masjid, wherever, if you go here and they're good, maybe that's fine. And if you go to another masjid, you need to let them know that this is part of the Islamic work, obviously.
Hey, assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Sadia, and I was helping out with media outreach in 2023 when we were pushing for Trudeau to call for a ceasefire. Since then, I haven't been very involved, but I have a few comments that I want to make on what we can do right now to push and build on the momentum that our community has been building up over the past couple of years, because there is no doubt that all of our efforts have had an impact. And I know that there are people who are critical of Mark Carney, so am I. The fact that he said that he will recognize a Palestinian state is obviously something significant, especially when you think about the fact that the conservatives and Pierre Poilievre are saying things like the liberals are Hamas lovers and Hamas must be celebrating. So as much as we're critical of the liberals, we also have to think about what things would be like if it was the conservatives governing in Ottawa right now. Things would be much worse from a Canadian perspective. So people might ask, how would they be worse? Well, Canada would be saying, continue to starve the Palestinians until the hostages are free. That's the sort of thing we'd be hearing. So what I just want to get across is, what can we as a community do to continue to build on the momentum that we've built and to put more pressure on the the liberals, now that this report has come out about the ongoing weapons trade that never ended between Canada and Israel, like the iron is hot, it's time to strike right now because they're under pressure and they're trying to figure out how to deal with this negative PR that they're getting. The groups that put together that report were amazing. So what I was wondering is how many people in this room would be willing to, for example, put a sticker on their car that points them to a website, maybe it's the armsembargonow.ca website, that we make very apparent in front of everybody, not only the Muslim community, but all people when we're outside. Like something like that is very powerful. If you remember when the Sikh protests were happening in India, the farmers' protests, all around Mississauga and Brampton, I saw this farmers' protest sticker on cars. And if you go to Brampton, you still see it very visibly. I haven't seen anything like that for Palestine in the GTA. So what I'm suggesting is if we can find some sort of website, if it's the armsembargonow.ca website that has the full report about the weapons trade that's still going on, and we can hand those stickers out at Friday prayers and have hundreds of people across the GTA have that on their car, that's going to get attention. That's going to put more pressure on the government. So what I'm trying to get at is like a very grassroots movement that's very apparent to people, so that
I think it's a mashallah. It's a very good idea, and it's something that we can definitely look into.
Right, because even with the Black Lives Matter, they had the branding, and people recognize what that was, be it a hat, be it a sticker, be it a T-shirt. And I think maybe to do the hats and the T-shirts might be too much, or maybe we could do that. But inshallah, if we can at least do the stickers and maybe issue a press release and saying we're launching this grassroots initiative and you're going to see this all over the city, and we get into our messages, we hand those out, I think we could show people that we haven't forgot about Palestine and let the government know
was
that.
there another idea that you had, just so we give everybody a
Sure. So no, the idea was just having something that's grassroots, that's visible in front of the people, the same way the Sikh community did with their farmers' protest. There's so many of us, and I think we've got the volume to do something like that right now.
No, jazakallah. So, I think you had your hand up? This brother here, I think, had his hand up. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
So, brothers, sorry, just because in the effort of time, we want to try to hear everybody. So, if you could limit your comments to like 2 minutes, even a minute if you can, that would.
Yeah, it will be less than a minute. So, when we approached our MP in the last election, the one thing she kept telling is nobody approaches me. You keep complaining when it is the time of election, but nobody comes to me for any concerns. So I don't know, between the election when she was elected and between now and then, how many times we approached her to go. I was just trying to see how many interventions or how many motions she has done. None. So we need to ask our MP, who is a Muslim, that she makes noise in the parliament. There's no intervention, there's no motion, there's nothing, there's no bill, right? We can always talk about Carney and all that. We have selected a Muslim MP here, and when the time of election came, one of the things, the main thing was, she is standing for Gaza, she is standing for human rights and all that. We have never seen anything of that kind. So I think we have a MP here. We need to make her accountable now, right? Not at the time of election. We have to make her accountable now and ask her to come and talk about that in the mosque. Not during Eid, not during any other time. We don't want to hear any, rosy stories about how she is doing and all that. We need our MP here to address us and tell what is the action she is planning to take at least. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. While brother was talking about calling MPs to the mosque and all those things, my major concern is with all these so-called Muslim organizations who came up during the election days with the names of Muslim votes, strategic voting, all those things. And they all lead towards the winnability of the candidate. They don't care what the background is, what the track record of any candidate is. They only go for the winnability of the candidates. And it's all inculcated from the top. So-called Islamic organizations came in the names of Muslim vote, strategic voting, and all kinds of things. So the advocacy groups has to have focus on them because our community is like a sheep. They divert us, okay, do this, and we all follow this. So like we need to stop those things. This is like, at that level also it's very vital to address that level because on the election days, they all came out and they all are private consultants. They all small get or small contracts, small jobs from federal government or the provincial governments. They all do for the lobbying purposes. So we need to, and the advocacy organization like Justice for All, NC, they all has to do. This is very vital.
So I know there are some organizations that were coming out for during voting time. They had platforms that they wanted MPs to sign on to, and a lot of them had to do with the situation in Palestine. And I know they're still working on it. So we do have a coalition of organizations that are working on it. If you are aware of any that are not, I would recommend, because it's not our job to police them. This is the community's job, to give them that feedback and let them know, listen, you came out, you told us to vote for them, what are you doing now? And there's nothing wrong even to question, our organization, obviously. What are you guys doing now? So
I think you're right. There needs to be accountability with these voting organizations. But again, I want to reiterate on the fact that I've already mentioned. We as a community think that dealing with these MPs, it's only for the elections. Does my MP personally know me? Does he or she think that when I go into a policy chamber, when I decide on something, would Zaver Farooq from Justice for All Canada be affected? Would his family, his supporters be affected, and what would they think? They'll only think this way if we have a working relationship with them. Sadly, our community does not. We think working with these MPs, it's only for the elections, for that 2 months, and then that's it. We have to keep the pressure up. We have to make them realize that we are someone who's active in this community, working in this community, and are a vital part of it.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Hassan. Thank you so much for this initiative today. So what's happening is it's been 2 years now, it's not something new. And we know Israel is blocking the aid since October 7. And now Egypt and Jordan, they are part of this as well, they are blocking the aid as well. Israel has no control for Rafah border. It's only Egypt and Palestinian side, so they can easy, I'm not sure what happened, but we have to, there's, as you see everyone in the news, there's individual actions across the world. They are blocking the embassies for Egypt and Jordan. So my question is, as for the Justice Canada, what action has been done and what was the result? And as a community today, how we can help you to achieve these goals? Thank you.
So, brother, just to let you know, Israel actually controls the Rafah border. They do. Israel does control the Rafah border, not Egypt. I understand, but yeah, I'm not from Gaza, but I am from Palestine. Okay, no. Alhamdulillah that you're here, and I'm very happy that you and your, I'm assuming your son are safe in here. But all the reports that have come out, even if it's Egypt there, it's Israel that controls it. So I'm not saying we shouldn't apply pressure to Egypt, but it's, absolutely, and we should.
Because to stop starving, it's ready to stop starving from the border of Rafah. That's it.
No.
What we are talking while speaking, I think.
Yeah, I'm from Gaza also, and yeah, Rimal, Ayat Tufah. I lost direct cousins, like 120, and we know the problem. And I think I agree with you that the borders are controlled by Israel. It's not controlled by Egypt or Jordan. Otherwise, they will allow the support to go inside Gaza. I have one request. Yeah. Gaza issue is a human being issue. It's not Islam issue. We have Christians, they are supporting us. I don't want to say more than Muslims, but we have Christians, we have Jewish people. They are supporting us as well. It's not an Islam issue. It's something related to the natural gas that they want to control, to supply for the worldwide, and about the Bulgarian port. They are not doing this because they are Muslims in Gaza, because they are Christians there. My request only, don't link it with Islam. This is Islam, something like this is the human issue, and this is Christians issue, Muslims issue, and even Jewish issue. My request, don't link it with Islam. Islam, not because we are Muslims, they are doing that in Gaza. This is my request. Thank you.
So, Alhamdulillah, Justice for All Canada, we work with a coalition of organizations, Jewish, Christian, atheist, all different kinds, unions, like all different kind of people. So definitely, I agree with you. We should not make this a Muslim issue. But for us here in the masjid, this is a Muslim issue, you know, and it is part of our duty as Muslims to support justice, not just in Gaza but everywhere. But now specifically Gaza, because this is the issue of our time. Like, I think in our lifetime, this is our issue. Our kids, our grandkids are going to look back at this particular moment in history and say, what did you do? And as Muslims, you know, this is our cause, you know. So I agree with you also, but we also have to look at it from our perspective. Like me personally, as a Muslim person, this moves me to take action, right? Is there anybody else?
Assalamu alaikum. I have two questions. One is, related to the brother's point. Actually, is right now at this point, and you've seen it all over the world, especially in New York, where there's a large Jewish community that's actually against this as well. Like at this point, there's a lot of non-Muslims that are also like on our side on this issue. Like it's a human, as the brother mentioned, it's a humanitarian, human rights issue, and a lot of people are. Like outside of the Muslim community, there's a lot of support for this cause as well, right? So my first question for you is, how do we build those coalitions? Like, what do you recommend, or what are you doing, and or what do you recommend for us as individual people to build coalitions and to to get others to also amplify our voice, to support this us on this issue. And my second question is, and this is, I apologize, I might be a little bit ignorant on this, but, and I'm not singling out any MP in particular, but I'm saying in general, I mean, in the US, we know about AIPAC, right? Like there's a lobby that's financing, but similarly, in Canada, I'm assuming, like politicians, yes, they care about your vote, but they also care about your money at a certain point. So if somebody is giving financial contributions to a candidate, how can you compete with that by just talk, like to your point, which I'm not saying, I think it's important to do that, but I'm saying how can I compete with somebody who's paying the politician by just meeting with them? You understand what I'm saying? Thank you.
I think that's a wonderful question. So I love talking about this. I've talked about this before too. The Zionist lobby last year contributed around $400 million in Canadian dollars towards our government. Our total advocacy efforts, and this is just one lobby I'm talking about, and that's CEJA, and they're working with one center, and that's the amount of money they're pushing into our government right now. Last year they did $400 million. Our total advocacy was $7 million last year. Our total relief effort was above $300 million last year. While we all know there's no aid going into Gaza, there's a blockade, there's only an Israeli organization who's actually handling all the aid, and it's a death trap, as Hassan mentioned earlier. So we need to take a step back as a community and think about what the right process of moving forward is. I've talked to almost any relief organization that you mentioned right now. I've talked to almost everyone's CEO. Nobody has told me that they're going into Gaza. They can't. So you're right. But the way we contribute is, coming back to the brother's question, that is this too Islamic? we think about it from an Islamic perspective, that Allah is bigger than all these problems. And we keep the fight on. That's the only mindset that we keep moving forward. Coalition, sisters, coalitions, I'd personally recommend that I try to go out and meet with my local churches, my local synagogues, and think about what they think about these issues. Believe it or not, most of the churches, when you go in there, the pastors, the people, they're willing to listen. They're willing to listen. They've never been approached. And it's right if you think about it, that when you think about people, how many people do you know have went out into a church just to talk to their community, just to change their mind? But it's a responsibility on all of us to do it. So we are doing this as an organization on an organizational level. We're trying to do that. But this has to happen on an individual level too.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for arranging this town hall. I came with a different understanding of what today we will be doing. I thought that we are coming in solidarity to find some solutions, to send some aid or relief to Gazans. I haven't heard of that so far. What we have discussed so far is that we should be doing advocacy, and we should be doing advocacy. Don't get me wrong. And that is something we should be doing always, not sometimes. Thank you for Justice for All for doing it. MNN should make a committee of people that would be representative of the community, from time to time going to different churches or synagogues or other places, including the politicians, representing the community. So that is one suggestion. Sister gave a very good suggestion. Those people who do not want to come forward or to go in committees and speak to their politicians can at least put a sticker on their car or talk to their colleague or point people to those websites. So these are positive suggestions. But where are the suggestions? What we are doing to alleviate the sufferings of Gazans? They are starving. I haven't heard anything. What are we going to do? Just talk? Are we here just to talk? What are we doing? How is the food going to get to them? I haven't heard anything. I came only to listen to the ideas. How is the food going to get to them? My belly is full. Tell me anything, what we can do to get the food to them. Are we parachuting it? Yes, that's an idea. Jordan, Turkey, many other countries are doing it for show purposes or whatever. At least the food is getting dropped. There are people who are doing flotillas. They are getting arrested. They are getting deported. They are doing something, not talking. How many people in this room are willing to do a flotilla for them? Or put maybe anything else, like putting those water bottles in the river or in the ocean, so that maybe with Allah's grace that it will get to them. How many are flying birds towards them, that maybe they will become mano salva for them? What have we done? Nothing. I'm here to listen to those ideas. Tell me what to do. That's why we have all gathered here.
Jazakallah, sister. The situation, indeed, it is very concerning. And we are discussing that what can we do? Since there is no proper pathway for relief, what is the next step? I think right now, this right here, right now, sister's question can be answered with our next segment. As we are running out of time, we're going to move towards that. Brother, if you can do it like within 30 seconds, we can take it. But the next segment is about why advocacy right now and what the actions right now Justice for All is recommending. So we're going to move right to that, sister, after the brother, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khalid.
Okay, let's make it quick.
I just wanted to add, if you want to donate, please donate to actual people inside Gaza, because most of the organizations and non-profit agencies, they're not letting the donations inside from Egypt to Gaza. So if you want to donate to actual people inside Gaza. There are like I follow them on Facebook and stuff. There are people that distribute money. There are people that cook and etc. So I just wanted to share this info. And that's it.
Jazakallah. Thank you. Good suggestion. In nowhere we're saying relief organizations are not letting the aid go in. Obviously, it's Israel.
Assalamu alaikum. So I'm in grade 12. I'm 17. And I just wanted to chime in and say that I feel like it's connected to advocacy. You were saying the youth are a big part of it. So I go to a public school. Before I went to a Muslim school, and I feel like there it's not that wide, like the Muslim school, it's not that widespread. Like we aren't really taught like Palestine, the issues there. It's just kind of engraved in us. But at the school I'm going to now, a lot of people, like younger than me too, I have friends who are in grade 9, 3, 4 years younger, they want to come out and they want to help. So I feel like everything is important. I'm not trying to undermine anything. But awareness is a huge part, because the more people that are aware, the more advocacy we can make, the more awareness we can make, the more pressure we can put on people in power to actually create changes. So like the sister was saying about the stickers, I feel like this is a really good initiative. If you go to any high school, you'll see everyone has stickers on their bags, on their water bottles, on their laptops. So I just wanted to put my piece in and say, like, I feel like the youth should be more involved, because like in 10, 20, 40 years, we're going to be the people calling for change. So I just wanted to say that. And also, if there is any movement or any action being taken, that I wanted to be a part of that. That's all I wanted to say.
Jazakallah, sister. Beautifully put. What I'm going to say right away, I remember reading it. It's a Chinese proverb that when you see no leader, you know who's the leader. Can you answer that? You're the leader. When there is no leader, you're the leader. If you have this in your heart, if you're concerned about this, which you so clearly are, you should be talking to your peers about this. You should be taking leadership about it. This Palestinian issue, across North America, no doubt, the students have played the biggest part across North America. Let nobody tell you otherwise. So you as students have done the biggest things possible for Gaza till this day. Look at arms embargo in the US. It's unprecedented. So students are doing amazing things, and if you're concerned about this, number one suggestion would be you take this up as a leader, inshallah. But we're going to move to actions, inshallah. I'm going to invite Brother Ahmed Ramadan, my good colleague. He's leading our Palestine campaign. He's also our advocacy officer for GTA, to move towards what the actions we are recommending, inshallah.
So my first part, Assalamu alaikum again. My first part was going to talk about some of the, as we have been discussing, so I'm not going to go too much into detail, but obviously the problem right now is not that there is not enough aid, but that aid is not getting in. And even if it was getting in, we have to think as a community beyond feeding the people in Gaza and feeding people that are being bombed feeding them while they're being bombed. We have to stop, we have to give them their own self-determination, their own dignity, their own rights, where they're not dependent on the feeding and the aid from us as well. So this is really a concept that, we go to Ottawa, we meet with MPs, we meet with MPs here. We meet, for the capability of our organizations. We meet once, they meet 10 times, if not more. This is the problem. When they see something, like if the Toronto Star puts out an article, or if an MP makes a statement about Gaza in a positive way, just slightly, not even very positive, they say something like, you know, we need to return the hostages, but what's going on is very bad. All the Jewish organizations, the Zionist organizations, not all the Jewish organizations, but many of them, and all the Zionist organizations, what do? They're relentless. They are relentless. What do we do when somebody says something? We talk, hey, bro, look what they said about us, and that's it. Who sends a letter to the Toronto Star? Or who goes to their MP and talks to them? We don't do that. But we want something to happen right away. Right? We go, we're angry, we start yelling at our MP. So, my point to you is, first of all, a lot of us, I mean, alhamdulillah, I think the people that are here are probably the ones that care more, or not care more, but still care, because there are a lot of people that are tired. They've been doing this for 22 months now, and they feel tired. They're like, now what? And my message to you is, how do you think the people of Gaza feel? Early on, like 8 months, I need to stop. But early on, like 8-9 months in, we were speaking live to one of the brothers in Gaza. And he said, if this was a sports team, it would be off season now. We would be done. Because we'd be tired from playing basketball or soccer or whatever. He goes, what about us? It's still going. That was, 14 months ago or more. But I want to tell you that even with our effort, alhamdulillah, we have been able to make change. And this is what I want to tell you, that it's not all for nothing. It's not as fast as we want, it's not as big as we want, but we are able to do something. And every single person here, young or old, you have a role to play. And Zoaib's going to tell you some things that you can do, but it's on you as well. You cannot push the buck off to anybody else, or we have an organization. You can get involved with us or with other organizations to actually make your voice heard, because this is where it matters. Really. When you go, if I go meet with an MP, like the brother was saying, I believe, and they say, nobody's talked to me, the sister, nobody's talked to me about this. I'm like, listen, Canadians care about Gaza. A lot of people nobody's come to my office. Nobody's said anything. People are, when the only time people say something is when I say something slightly against Israel, the Zionist groups come out. But Muslim people, nobody's, or pro-Palestine people, nobody's come to me. So this is where you guys come in to make our job easier. And we can help you with that. My only quickly, honestly, there was more to say, but we're running out of time. But I just want to say one thing. Whatever you do, when you're going to meet with a government official or any allies or any people you're trying to convince, you could be emotional, forceful, but here, this is just a quick advocacy tip, but make your case without attacking them. Because you don't want to make people enemies. You want them to listen to you. Tell them why it matters to you. Make that connection with them. And but keep that respect at all times, in all in your meeting. You could care about it. There's no problem with that. But don't go in attacking people, because automatically you make them defensive, and then they're gonna think, no matter what, you're not gonna be happy. So, inshallah, I'll give it. Oh, one more quick thing. There's been some very great suggestions we could help with, inshallah. But take on, if you have an idea, take it on. Like Zoe was saying, you are the leader of that idea. Nobody's going to champion your idea better than you. So you should take that on, and inshallah, if we can help out wherever we can, we will.
Jazakallah. Just to conclude, thank you so much for joining. The few actions that we're recommending, we've talked about them throughout the meeting. First of all, go meet with your MP right now, like yesterday. If you can get in a room with them, if you can get a meeting, that's good. If you can't get a meeting, show up. We have 2 pages here for you guys. One for you to learn about what the conditions are, what should the government be doing. The second one is a handout which you can give to your MP right now. Go talk to them, tell them these are our demands, tell them this is what we need, and go out there, meet with them. That's number one. The second thing, The second thing is, if you find any media bias, anything at all, find out who the writer is, who the editor is, and write an email to them and tell them this is biased, tell them this is racist. There are good tools to do media reporting out there, and Justice for All Canada has one of them. You can either join our force or do this on your own. The third one is to go and call on your imams, find leaders like MNN, find leaders like this masjid. If your local masjid is not doing this, if they're not going out there just like MNN, go ask them. Tell your imam to remind the people continuously that there is a famine going on under our noses, under our watch, and we should be talking about it. We should be influencing our MPs. This is everything that we're doing right now. All the staff at Justice for All Canada, no matter what the job is, this is their job description right now. This is what we're doing, and this is what we want all our community to do individually. Jazakallah khair. I'm going to ask Brother Dawood to make dua and inshallah conclude.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Ya Allah Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim, we beseech you this evening to open our hearts, open our ears, open our minds, and enable us to find concrete things that we can do to make a difference in the life of our brothers and sisters and children in Gaza, in the West Bank, in East Jerusalem, in all of the Muslim areas surrounding that area, because it's all connected. O Allah, strengthen us, increase our iman, bless and protect our families, and raise up from among us people with vision, with wisdom, and with courage. O Allah, most merciful and most gracious, increase us in numbers, increase our wealth, protect our children, and enable us to help shift the needle, to make a difference so that this crisis will be victorious for people that love you and worship you, and help us to come closer, because there are many similar battles that we still need to identify and we still need to meet. Ameen, ameen, ameen.